Stop right here. Don't rush. Don't scroll. Give me 1 minute, 60 seconds before you decide that love is over. My child, can you hear me? I am stepping into your day, into your thoughts, into your atmosphere with the tenderness your soul needs and the urgency this moment requires, not to control you, but to protect what I am rebuilding in you. This minute is not random. It is not accidental. Heaven aligned this exact breath because you are standing at the edge of surrender, and I will not let you make a permanent decision inside a temporary wave of pain. I know how many times you have tried to shake off the ache. I know how often you have whispered that you're fine while your chest burned with the quiet fear that hope only hurts you. I was there when you said, maybe I'm done. Maybe it's safer if I close the door. My child, pause. Breathe. Let me hold your attention long enough to remind you, surrendering to hopelessness is not the same as being healed. Giving up is not relief. It is silence that mimics peace and then steals it. This is a divine interruption. I arranged this minute because what you are about to decide has ripples you cannot see yet. The pain feels loud, I know. The disappointment feels final, I know. The loneliness tries to convince you that pulling away is wisdom, I know. But listen to me. The wave that hit you is passing, and the undertow that tries to pull you under is not telling you the truth about your future. Let me quiet the noise around you. Let me hush the storm inside you. Let me stand between you and the verdict you are about to write against your own heart. You are not being punished for hoping. Your heartbreak was not proof that you are unlovable. It was not a sentence. It was a storm. And storms end. I have been guarding you in the in-between, even when it felt like I was silent. I am here now, and I am saying, with all the authority of the one who knows the end from the beginning, do not surrender your heart to despair in this hour. Do not confuse numbness with safety. Do not call exhaustion wisdom. Give me 60 seconds of your full attention, 1 minute of stillness, 1 minute of honest breath. Put down what is in your hands, your phone, your worries, your defense, and let me touch the part of you that is tired of bracing for impact. I am not asking because I need control. I am asking because something you prayed for is nearer than you realize, and you must be awake for it. If you rush past this moment, you risk missing the rescue that is already moving toward you. My child, I am closer than your next thought. I catch every tear before it touches the ground. I will not let hopelessness call itself healing in your life. Stay with me. This is your interruption, your pause, your protection. In these 60 seconds, I am turning you away from the cliff and back toward the path I prepared, where love is safe and your heart can live again. My child, stay with me. I saw the exact moment you started numbing out to survive. I watched the light in your eyes dim, not because you were weak, but because you were carrying too much without a safe place to set it down. I saw you sitting up at night, the late-hour spirals where your thoughts tangled into knots you couldn't untie. I saw the screen glow on your face when you couldn't sleep, the way you scrolled to distract the ache, the way your chest felt tight when the room quieted and the memories got loud. I saw the morning after, when you painted your smile on and said, "I'm fine," even though you knew that fine was a costume you wore because you didn't want to alarm anyone. I saw the shower where the water tried to hide your tears. I saw the way your pillow held the part of you wouldn't let the world see. None of it was missed. Not one quiet tear went unseen. You have been tired, body tired from nights without rest, mind tired from carrying 100 unspoken conversations, soul tired from hope deferred, love tired from bleeding where you were supposed to be held. You have been strong for so long that your shoulders forgot what it feels like not to brace. You have been managing, performing, fixing, minimizing. You have been surviving more than you've been living, and somewhere between the last apology you gave to keep the peace and the last promise someone broke without looking back, you reached for numbness like a life jacket, not because you wanted to stop loving, but because you needed to stop bleeding. Hear me. You weren't rejecting love. You were protecting yourself from another disappointment. You weren't pushing me away. You were pushing pain away. The silence you chose wasn't rebellion. It was a tourniquet to keep your heart from losing more than it could afford. And I did not call you faithless for it. I did not shame you for it. I sat with you in it. I held the pieces you couldn't hold. I guarded the embers under the ash when you were certain the fire had gone out. Your numbness has been a shield you picked up in the storm, not a verdict on your ability to love. It is a tool you used in an emergency, not your identity, not your destiny. Shields are allowed in battle, but they are heavy when the field grows calm. I know how many times you have said, "I don't feel anything," when in truth you felt too much all at once. I know how many times you laughed at the right moment and winced when the laugh echoed in the empty place afterward. I know how many times you told yourself, "It's safer if I just stop wanting," while a quieter part of you whispered for rescue. I am that rescue. I am not angry at the way you survived. I am proud you made it through nights that should have swallowed you. I did not let the numbness harden into stone. I kept your heart soft under the armor, ready for the day it would be safe to feel again. And that day is not a distant dream. It is nearer than your fear suggests. Do not judge yourself for grabbing the shield. Do not judge your heart for learning to protect itself. Let me be the one to tell you what it meant. It meant you were human, wounded, worthy of gentleness, and wise enough to slow the bleeding when help felt far. My child, take this in. The way you coped was a sign of your value, not your failure. You cared enough about your life to guard it. You cared enough about love to refuse to let it break you beyond repair. And I cared enough about you to witness every moment, to gather every tear, to keep watch when you slept at last. Your numbness is not the end of your story. It was the shelter in the storm. With me, you will not live behind it forever. For now, breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Let my voice be the first soft thing you've let near your heart in a while. I am here and I am not leaving. My child, stay with me a little longer. You think you are giving up on love, but you are actually trying to stop the bleeding. You are not bitter by nature, you are bandaged by necessity. You have been carrying the ache of feeling foolish for believing, and the sting of replaying conversations where you ignored your own warning signs, and the humiliation of watching your open heart be mishandled. You feel safer alone, don't you? Because at least loneliness is predictable. At least you know how to manage the quiet, how to keep your expectations small enough to survive the night. I know how many times you rehearsed the line, "I don't need anyone," when what you meant was, "I can't afford another collapse." I know the way your stomach tightens when hope taps your shoulder, because hope has led you down roads that ended at locked gates. You're not wrong to want safety. You're not wrong to crave ground that doesn't give way beneath your feet. Listen, the urge to quit love is often your soul asking for safety, not your heart becoming cold. You are not heartless. You are careful with a wound that hasn't fully closed. Let me whisper into the place you don't show anyone. You are not foolish for having loved. Love was not your mistake. Unsafe places were your injury. Unclear boundaries were your bruise. Confusion masquerading as chemistry was your trap, and I saw it. I counted the times you lowered your voice to keep the peace and lowered your guard to keep from being left. I know how many bargains you made with yourself just to make it to morning. My child, what if I am rebuilding your capacity to love safely, not punishing you? What if the heaviness you feel right now is not a verdict, but a reset? What if I am teaching your yes to listen for me, to recognize peace instead of adrenaline, gentleness instead of apology-based attachment. What if I am stitching discernment into the places that once bled so easily, so your future love doesn't leak through every old crack? You feel it, don't you? That small part inside that wants to believe there's a way to love without losing yourself. That quiet voice that says, if I could know I'm safe, I would open again. I am answering that voice. I am not demanding you fling your doors wide to anything that knocks. I am asking you to let me stand at the door with you. I am asking you to let me be your gatekeeper while your heart regains strength. Stop calling self-protection the death of your heart. Start recognizing it as triage I allowed until the right care arrived. Let me be that care. Let me steady your breathing, slow your racing thoughts, quiet the false alarms. You do not have to choose between danger and desert. There is a middle path called wisdom, and I am leading you onto it. You are not quitting love. You are asking for safe love, and I am answering yes. My child, stay with me. Stop right here. Don't scroll. Don't skim. Let your hands be still. Unclench your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Breathe in, slow, out, slower. Give me your attention. Let me quiet the noise that has been crowding out your peace. Not because I demand control, but because alignment is how you recognize what is coming toward you. Stillness is not weakness. It is the doorway where guidance meets you, where your discernment wakes up, where your heart remembers the sound of my voice. Your life has been so noisy lately. Notifications tugging, thoughts looping, memories replaying, imaginary arguments rehearsed in the shower, texts reread for hidden meaning, comparisons that shrink you, outcomes measured against someone else's timeline, self-blame spirals that tie guilt to your ankles. Drift doesn't come with sirens. It slides in quietly. One late night, one skipped breath, one more scroll, one more moment you promise to feel later. I have watched the tide of distraction pull you a little farther from the shore of yourself each day, not because you are careless, but because the noise felt safer than the ache. But listen to me. Noise is not shelter, it is a fog, and fog is where counterfeits look convincing. Let me hush the world around you. Put the weight you've been carrying down. Even for this minute, I am stepping into your atmosphere to still the waters inside you. I arranged this exact pause because something you have prayed for is drawing near, and I will not let the roar of distraction drown out the way I am warning you, guarding you, guiding you. If you rush past this moment, you may miss the very thing you have been begging me to send because you won't recognize it in time. Recognition requires rest. Wisdom needs room to speak. Hear what I've been protecting you from attention that flatters but never commits, from chemistry that burns hot but will not hold you when the room goes quiet, from apologies that ask you to forget but never invite real change, from patterns that dress up as destiny because they feel familiar, from the voice that says you must shrink to be kept, or perform to be chosen, or accept confusion as the price of companionship, from saying yes when your peace says no, from mistaking urgency for love, intensity for intimacy, loneliness for a sign that you are unworthy. I have been closing doors you thought you needed because what waited behind them would have cost you more than you could afford. And hear what I am preparing you to see. Consistency over performance, gentleness over persuasion, patience over pressure, peace that steadies your chest rather than adrenaline that spikes and crashes, communication that doesn't make you translate pain, honor without conditions, safety that does not ask you to disappear. You will know it by the fruit, but you must be still enough to taste it, not just starved enough to accept anything that calls itself bread. My child, let me align you. Breathe again. Let me turn down the volume of fear so your discernment can rise. Let me reorder your thoughts so hope is not a hazard but a compass. Give me your attention now, and I will give you clarity later. Stay here. Be still. In this quiet, I am restoring the part of you that recognizes me in what is coming, and because of that, you will not hand your heart back to what once broke it. My child, listen to me. Those doors did not close to punish you. They closed to preserve you. I know you keep replaying the sudden endings, the messages that went unanswered, the plans that broke at the last minute, the invitations that came and then evaporated, the opportunities that looked perfect until they slipped through your fingers, the relationships that started like sunrise and stalled in the dark. You asked, what did I do wrong? You asked, why does it always fall apart when I finally get my hopes up? I heard you. I was there. Hear my heart in this. What you called rejection was often rescue. What you called delay was often prevention. I did not let certain numbers text back because the conversation would have melted your boundaries and rewritten your worth with confusion. I let some plans fall through because the price of keeping them would have been your peace. I allowed what looked like momentum to slow because what it was carrying could not travel with the future I am building with you. I know how much you wanted me to make it work. I know how carefully you held your breath when it seemed close, how you edited yourself to fit the space, how you tried to be the bridge when the other side wouldn't meet you. My child, I did not embarrass you. I rescued you from the kind of almost that drains you year after year. I closed doors you were strong enough to force open so you would not be trapped inside a room that required you to shrink to stay. You think a yes is always kindness, but sometimes kindness is a no. Sometimes mercy looks like silence that saves you from sweet words with no spine. Sometimes protection looks like an unanswered text, because had it been answered, it would have pulled you into cycles you've been begging me to end. Sometimes love from me is the absence of an apology that would only start the same dance all over again. I would not let you rehearse heartbreak just to prove you can endure it. This is not about control, not to control you, but to protect what I am building in you and what I am sending toward you. I am preserving your capacity, your clarity, your courage to tell the truth when the room pressures you to pretend. I am guarding the tenderness I restored in you so it is not handed to chaos in the name of chemistry. I am keeping your future from being mortgaged to someone else's unfinished healing. Remember the time you almost said yes because you were tired of waiting. I leaned on the hinge of that door. Remember the interview that vanished, the ticket you couldn't buy, the move that didn't happen. I saw the nets behind the spotlight, the obligations that would have asked you to disown your own voice. Remember the relationship that stalled without explanation? I heard the conversations you weren't invited to. I knew the parts of themselves they had no intention to bring to the table. Mercy closed it so you wouldn't have to bleed your way to clarity. This is not random. It is not accidental. I arranged this moment to tell you, you are not being punished for hoping. You are being preserved for safe love. Some endings were me pulling you out of a fire you called warmth. Some delays were me slowing your steps so you wouldn't miss the intersection where your future meets you whole. Trust my hand on the knob. If I closed it, it was never going to hold you. If I withheld it, it was never going to build you. Stay with me, and you will see why every no protected the yes that is coming. My child, listen to me. I am healing your yes, so it isn't desperation anymore. Stop right here. Don't rush past this part. Your yes has been tired, love tired. You have poured and patched and performed until your kindness felt like currency you had to spend to keep from being left. I saw you over-explaining your needs as if they were a problem to solve. I saw you becoming the planner, the counselor, the constant checker-in, the translator of someone else's silence, calling it love while you quietly abandoned yourself. I know how many times you said, "It's okay," when it wasn't okay, just to keep the room from breaking. I know the nights you stayed awake writing paragraphs to earn crumbs. I know the promises you made to yourself that you broke to make another person comfortable. You weren't weak. You were weary. You weren't needy. You were bleeding. Hear me. I am not just preparing someone for you. I am preparing you to love without losing yourself. I am restoring your yes to the place where it belongs, aligned with peace, anchored in truth, protected by boundaries that are holy to me. Boundaries are not a lack of love. They are love staying honest. Your no is not rebellion. Your no is a gate that keeps the garden healthy. Your pace is not a problem. Your pace is wisdom. If remaining chosen requires you to disappear, it is not a place I am sending you. If belonging demands betrayal of your own soul, it is not love. It is captivity wearing perfume. So I am teaching your yes to wait for my peace, not the rush of adrenaline, not the high of being noticed, not the relief of filling the quiet. Peace, the kind that steadies your chest, calms your thoughts, makes you more yourself. I am training your attention to recognize consistency over charm, repairs over repeats, curiosity over control. I am clearing the static so you can hear when I whisper, "This is safe," and just as surely, "This is not." I am healing the reflex that apologizes for having needs. I am drying the fear that says, "If I speak, I'll be left." I am strengthening your spine so you can say, "This is my limit," and watch real love honor it. My child, I will not let loneliness vote on your future. I will not let panic pick your partner. I am uncoupling comfort from chaos in your nervous system, so familiarity no longer looks like fate. I am making desperation taste bitter to you, so you can tell it apart from devotion. I am teaching you to test fruit, not just listen to words. Respect that survives a no, attention that isn't earned by crisis, pursuit that does not pressure your timeline, apology that changes behavior, presence that values your rest. When you feel the old urge to rush, pause. Ask me. Let me stand at the door with you. Let me say, "Not this one," and you will not grieve the closed path. Let me say, "This one," but slowly, and you will not override your pace to match another's push. You will not make yourself small to be loved again. Your friendships will not be the recovery ward for your romance. Your calling will not be set on fire to keep another person warm. Your yes will be clean, mutual, sustainable. It will cost you courage, not your core. It will add to your life instead of explaining away your losses. Stay with me here. Breathe. Be still. I am guarding your heart while I reteach it what safety feels like. I am healing your yes, and when it speaks next time, it will not be begging. It will be choosing. My child, stay with me. Breathe. You didn't miss your moment. You were being moved into the right season. I know how many times you have looked at everyone else's timelines and asked, "Why am I still here? Why is everyone else engaged, married, moved on, posting keys and rings and baby shoes while I am still waiting?" I hear the quiet shame that tries to rise when you compare your chapter to their highlight. Stop right here. Don't let comparison call itself truth. Your life is not late. It is layered. Your story is not behind. It is being built. I never wrote you onto a conveyor belt. I placed you into a season with an assignment, and the assignment is sacred. Listen to me. Not an hour ago, not tomorrow. This season has an assignment, stabilizing your heart, clarifying your standards, restoring your hope. Delay is not denial. It is the season where your foundation becomes strong enough for what you asked for. You would not move into a house while the concrete is still wet and call that faith. You would wait for the curing, the setting, the strength that won't crack when weather changes. I am doing that in you. I am settling what once shook you. I am pouring wisdom into the places urgency used to occupy. I am teaching your heart to recognize peace as a sign, not pressure as a signal. I am not withholding love from you. I am withholding you, holding you with me, until love is a place that can carry your whole weight. This moment right now is proof of timing on purpose. You think you clicked by chance, but heaven aligned this exact minute for you. This breath, this sentence, this stillness. I arranged this pause in the timeline of your life so you could feel me repair what comparison fractured. I am stitching minutes back to meaning. I am recalibrating your sense of late to my rhythm of right. If I had given you what you begged for when the wound was fresh, you would have called it destiny, and it would have drained you in slow motion. Mercy intervened. Protection rerouted you. Purpose held your hand through what looked like detours and was, in truth, a direct path around a collapse you could not see. Look at the evidence inside you. The red flags you once excused now speak clearly. The appetite for chaos is shrinking. The old chemistry no longer tastes like home. Peace has become a gate, and your no is learning to stand. That is not stagnation, that is strength. That is your season doing its holy work. Others may be announcing plans. You are becoming a person who can sustain promises. Others may be posting the moment. You are being prepared to live the life after the moment, steady, honest, mutual, safe. My child, release the shame, release the hurry. Stop apologizing for the pace I set to protect you. Thank me for the timing that is saving you from rebuilding the same ruin. Give me your attention when the urge to compare rises. Let me remind you, this is not random. It is not accidental. I am moving you on schedule for a love that will meet you at your true size. Stay with me. Keep your eyes here. Your future is not slipping away. It is settling in. And when the door opens, and it will, you will walk through it on feet that do not tremble, with a heart that no longer trades itself to be kept, carrying a hope that has learned how to last. My child, stay with me. Listen closely. The next love will not look like the last wound. I know how the last season taught you by pain, how inconsistency trained your nervous system to wait for impact, how mixed signals kept you decoding what should have been a plain, how "I'm not ready" held your heart hostage while it asked you to act like a spouse without ever giving you a place to rest. I saw the emotional unavailability that left you carrying both sides of the conversation. I saw manipulation that called itself romance, love bombing and withdrawal, apologies that asked you to forget without offering repair, attention that treated you like an option when convenience called. I saw you being scheduled around, chosen in private but questioned in public, praised for your patience and then blamed for naming your needs. I saw you shrinking, explaining, editing yourself to stay. I counted the nights you stared at your phone, translating silence into self-accusation. I watched you measure worth by the speed of a reply. I heard the voice that said, "If I were easier, quieter, less, they would stay." I was there when your body learned to brace, jaw tight, breath shallow, smile rehearsed, because you never knew when warmth would turn into winter. None of it was lost on me. None of it was punishment. It was schooling you never asked for, and I am redeeming even that curriculum. Now hear me with the weight of heaven behind my words. The next love I allow into your life will move differently. Stable love, clear intentions, mutual effort that does not make you audition to be worthy. You will not have to interrogate your safety. Peace will settle in your body like a blessing you don't have to chase. Shoulders lowering, breath evening, mind quiet enough to hear your own laughter again. Communication will hold your dignity. Hard conversations will not require you to disappear. Silence will not be a weapon. They will choose you in daylight, not just in the after hours of loneliness. Plans will be kept. Words will match patterns. Apologies will come with change. Presence will not ask you to trade your calling for a seat at their table. Stop accusing yourself for what wasn't yours to fix. You are not hard to love. You were just trying to be loved by someone who wasn't ready to love safely. Your desires were not excessive. Their readiness was insufficient. Your boundaries were not demands. They were the doorway to honesty. Your tenderness was not naivete. It was evidence that your heart stayed alive in a hostile climate. Release the blame you took on to make chaos feel explainable. Release the habit of rewriting your worth to excuse someone else's lack. This moment is not random. It is not accidental. I arranged this pause to tell you your future does not have to repeat your past, because I am rewriting your pattern, not just your story. The old pattern of chasing chemistry that costs you peace is ending. The cycle of performing to be picked is closing. I am teaching your eyes to recognize fruit early, your ears to hear peace as guidance, your body to trust rest as a sign. I am changing how you respond to attention, no longer starving for crumbs, but discerning bread. Do not sabotage the new by expecting the old. Do not test safe love with punishments earned in former rooms. Bring your wisdom. Leave the walls. Keep your pace. I will be your gate. When fear flares, give me 60 seconds and let me speak before you run. My child, I am near, and what is coming will not make you barter your belonging. The next love will honor the healing I have done, and you will know it, not by adrenaline, but by the quiet confidence that says, I am safe to stay. My child, stay with me. Do not build a permanent wall around a temporary injury. I know the ache that made you reach for brick and mortar, vows whispered in the dark like never again, built from sleepless nights and unanswered messages. I know the way your chest tightens when you imagine trying again, how your mind replays the break like it's evidence that hope is dangerous. Stop right here. Don't rush. Don't scroll. Listen, walls feel safe, but they starve what they protect. Gates guard, walls entomb. This pain is real, but it is not your forever. Stop rehearsing the breakup. Stop sentencing your future. Stop calling your pain your identity. You are not the one who always gets left. You are not too much or too late. You are healing. You are learning. You are being led into wisdom. The injury required bandages, not concrete. The bleeding needed pressure, not a lifetime of quarantine. What kept you alive in crisis cannot be allowed to decide your destiny in recovery. Here is the choice in front of you. Walls or wisdom, bitterness or boundaries, isolation or healing. Bitterness says, close everything, trust nothing. Wisdom says, build a fence with a gate, let truth in, keep harm out. Isolation says, if no one crosses the line, no one can hurt me. Healing says, if I never cross the line, I cannot be loved. My child, boundaries are holy, bitterness is captivity. Boundaries open and close with discernment. Bitterness locks and throws away the key. Let me give you words to anchor your next step. Say it with me, quietly if you must, but say it. I will not quit love. I will quit unsafe love, rushed love, performative love, self-abandoning love. I will keep my heart, keep my pace, keep my voice. I will choose clarity over chemistry, peace over pressure, fruit over fantasy. I will not apologize for my boundaries. I will not barter my belonging. I will not use loneliness as a compass. I will ask for and accept only what is mutual, consistent, and safe. Put the brick down. Breathe. Feel your shoulders lower. Let me be your gate. When fear flares, give me 60 seconds. Let me speak before you stack another stone. I am healing your reflex to overprotect so it can become wise protection, porous where love is proven, firm where patterns repeat. I am teaching you to test the hinge, not seal the doorway, to ask, does this honor what God rebuilt in me, and to believe your own answer. Walls keep pain out, but they also keep life out. Choose wisdom without closing your heart. I am not asking you to fling the door wide to whoever knocks. I am asking you to stand at the threshold with me. Because of me, you will not mistake apology for change, intensity for intimacy, or urgency for love. And because of me, when safe love arrives, it will not find you barricaded behind your fear. It will find you steady at the gate, present, discerning, ready to receive what I am sending without losing yourself to keep it. Stay with me. Keep your heart soft and your boundaries strong. This is the decision that reopens your future. My child, stay with me. Give me one more yes right here. This minute, stop. Don't scroll. Don't run back into the noise. I arranged this exact breath to be a hinge. This is not random. It is not accidental. This is your turning point. 1 minute of trust can interrupt years of despair and reopen what I am restoring. You are not being punished for hoping. You have been preserved by heartbreak long enough to rebuild how you love. Now let this 60 seconds become your gate into newness. Breathe with me. In, slow, out, slower. Put a hand over your heart if you can. Let your shoulders lower. Whisper this with me, even if your voice is small. God, I give you my attention. I give you my fear. I give you my need to overprotect. Heal the places that brace for impact. Quiet the alarms that confuse urgency with love. Restore my discernment. Rebuild my capacity to receive safe love without losing myself. Teach my yes to wait for peace and my no to stand without apology. Make me a gate with you, not a wall against life. I release shame for believing. I release self-blame for what I could not control. I forgive myself for staying too long and for leaving too late. I call my boundaries holy. I call my future open. I will not surrender in the very season you are preparing a new beginning. I choose wisdom over walls, clarity over chemistry, peace over pressure. I welcome what you send that bears good fruit. I say yes to healing and no to haste. Hold my heart steady. Lead me into safe love. Amen. Stay right here a moment longer. Feel how your chest eases when truth speaks. This is alignment. This is how you recognize what is coming. I am already answering that prayer. I am softening the reflex that made you rush. I am strengthening the spine that will hold your standards without fear. I am turning never again into not like that again. I am placing you where consistency finds you, where gentleness does not need to be begged, where attention does not make you audition, where apology is paired with change. Doors are preparing to open that will not require you to disappear to walk through them. And when fear flares, as it sometimes will, give me 60 seconds again. I will meet you in every minute you give me. Little surrenders become a life you can trust. If this is your prayer, declare it aloud and write it where your eyes can see it. God is rebuilding my heart safely. Speak hope into your own atmosphere. I will not give up on love. Put it in the comments so agreement surrounds you, and so your future self can come back and remember the day you turned. Share this with someone who is near surrender. Let them borrow your yes until theirs wakes up. This is not performance. This is stewardship of hope. My child, I am holding you steady at the threshold you once feared. I am not late, I am precise. You will know what I send by the calm that stays when the room quiets, by the fruit that doesn't need a spotlight, by the peace that lets you be fully present. Keep this minute as a model. When the old story tries to speak, pause and give me your breath again. 60 seconds at a time, I am rewiring your responses, reopening your future, fulfilling the promise I made when I called you mine. Stay with me. Keep saying yes, small and steady. Your life is turning, and this minute is the sound of the hinge.